Yes, yeah, morning all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 20 plus years of experience. My experience includes in different technologies. So I was working with big data, Hadoop, Spark, this Azure data engineering, right? Yes. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes. Is my voice audible to all? Is my voice clear
Yeah,
to all?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Fine, thank you. So as part of today's demo, I'll be covering these following things. Why data engineer? So data engineer, if you go back like 10 to 15 years back, right, there is no concept of data engineer. So we used to have like ETL developer. And what is the role of Azure data engineer and difference between data engineer, data scientist, analyst, and the Azure data engineering products and services and the job market of Azure data engineer, right? Yes. So data engineer, as compared with this traditional ETL developer, he has to work with all varieties of data. He should be able to work with structured data. He should be able to work with semi-structured data. He should be able to work with unstructured data. He should be able to work with NoSQL data, or he should be able to work with streaming data, all varieties of data, all formats of data, right? He should be able to handle all those. And if you see here in our course, we are discussing like in cloud, on cloud, right? That to Azure cloud. So generally, what is the advantage we go for cloud? When we go for cloud, what is the advantage we see as compared with the on premises? See, cloud is majorly utilized for storing the data, analyzing and delivering data in various form. If you talk about this on premises, right, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. In the case of on premises, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing of database license, and installation of database server, designing database objects, and to maintain all this, we require separate teams. We require separate teams for this. Hardware team is required, operating system team is required, networking team is required, security team is required, and database administrators required. But here, everything in the cloud premises. We no need to maintain all this, but here everything in the cloud premises, we no need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure, right? No need of any licenses. Here, everything in the cloud environment. So here, data engineers with the help of cloud services. Data engineers with the help of cloud services, they work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineers responsible for smooth data flow from source to the destination. And data engineering responsible for preparing the data, cleansing the data, transforming the data, and processing the data. So data engineer responsible for preparing the data, cleansing the data, transforming the data, and processing data. If you see data engineer, how is different from a data scientist? So data engineer is for data management, data storage, and data processing, as compared with a typical data scientist. Data scientist for data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clusterings, data recommendations, right? So is going to perform all those things. Mainly, we say in a single word like data scientist is going to strategize for the future. Data scientist strategizes for the future, means recommendations for the future. He is going to analyze the data, identify the key patterns. Yes. Okay. Data, so it performs data analysis, predictions, classifications, clusterings, and recommendations. Okay. On the other side, data analyst just summarizes the data of the past, visualizing the data and summarizing the data of the past. Okay. So data engineer does all the groundwork for data scientist and data analyst. Nearly about 70 to 80% of the data analysis work is done by data engineers, right? Yes, does all the groundwork for data scientist and analyst. Data engineering involves what are the sources from where you need to pull the data from, where you need to extract the data from, what are the sources of the data, what is the format of the data, how to transform or process the data, and what is the destination of the data. What is the destination of the data? So why Azure data engineer is in demand today? For example, why Azure data engineer? Why Azure data engineer? Why Azure data engineer and why Azure data engineer in demand? Why Azure data engineer in demand, right? Yes. For example, understand this. An organization, if we take any organization, it wants to increase the business revenue. It wants to increase the business revenue by utilizing this customer behavioral data in its website. The organization using Azure for its operations. So it is going to hire two people. It is going to hire two people. Azure data engineer and a data scientist. Majorly, the Azure data engineer. Firstly, is going to create a first is data engineer creates a data warehouse. Is going to create a data warehouse for the organization. Data warehouse is what? Data warehouse is a storage of structured and queryable data. It contains data from various sources, such as new users, clicks, existing customer data, and data engineer is going to structure this data, stores it, and monitors it in the data warehouse. Secondly, the data engineer communicates. Data engineer is going to communicate with the data scientist to understand the data requirement. He also communicates with the business team to know the business requirements of the organization. So always the data engineer should keep in mind the business needs while dealing with the data in the hand. Later, the data scientists they will analyze and create insights from the process data of the data engineer. They create some dashboard tools and visualizations. Right? Data engineer constantly processing, analyzing, and monitoring the data. Data engineers they keep on constantly processing, analyzing, and monitoring the data. He creates a data pipeline. He creates a data pipeline through which data is integrated. Is going to create a data engineer is going to create a data pipeline through which data is integrated with all the crucial stages of the data flow. Data engineer also makes sure that the pipeline is always secure is always efficient and secure. This is the primary role of the primary role, right, to be played by the data engineer professional, right? And coming to this role of data engineer, what is the role of data engineer? Role of Azure data engineer. Designing the entire data flow architecture. Designing the entire data flow architecture. Designing the entire data flow architecture. Secondly, like creating data warehouse. Creating a data warehouse for storage of analytical data. Thirdly, like ETL, extract, transform, and load. This ETL is one of the key tasks of data engineer. They need to extract data from multiple sources, transform it into structured and queryable data, load it into company storage service for further business evaluations by the data scientists. Data monitoring. Next is like data monitoring. Data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way and the data is available anywhere and everywhere it is required. Data security. Data security. Ensuring data security is also a major responsibility of data engineers. Ensuring data security is also a major responsibility of data engineers. The data need to be secure at each step. The data should be secure at each step of the process without any data leaks or exposure. Collaboration and communication. Collaboration and communication, right? They have to constantly communicate with the business team. They have to constantly communicate with the business team to check if that team needs some data insights, and they are also collaborating with the data scientists to deliver the data as per their needs, as per the requirement, right? And even some kind of analytics. So this data engineers, right? They transform data. They need to have some strong analytical skills and mathematical skills to perform this analysis. And automation. They have to automate certain processes which require minimal human intervention, such as extraction process. Okay, so designing the entire data flow architecture, creating data warehouse for storage, creating data warehouse, right? Role of Azure data engineer. Yes, ETL, extract, transform, data monitoring, data security, collaborating and communication, analytics, and automation. Okay, talk about Azure data engineering products. Azure data engineer products. Azure data engineer products. Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, Azure Keyword. What are the major like Azure Data Engineering products or services? In a simple way, I'll say, just I'll give overview about this, right? Yes. Azure SQL, right? Azure SQL, it is a cloud or DBMS. In a simple way, I can say it is a cloud or DBMS database. It is a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. It is a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. It is for OLTP operations. It is for OLTP. It is a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. It is for OLTP operations. OLTP system, right? Captures end user transactions. In a simple way, right? Yes. It's a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. Secondly, like Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Lake, it's a kind of file system. It is a client that to distributed unlimited distributed file system, right? Yes. Azure Data Lake, some distributed file system, some distributed file system with unlimited data storage. Distributed file system with unlimited data storage in cloud, that is data lake. Already we have got for example in Hadoop HD we got HDFS, on-premise distributed file system. In Azure Data Lake we have got cloud distributed file system. Data lake is a repository for large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse. For data warehouse operations. For data warehouse operations. For big data operations. For data warehouse operations, for big data operations, for analytics, for batch processing, Batch applications are for batch processing, for parallel processing. ADF, Azure Data Factory. It is a cloud. I can say already we have got a many uh, ETL tools available on premise, right? But I want a ETL on cloud. It is a cloud ETL or cloud based ETL. It is a cloud ETL. The cloud ETL or cloud based ETL of Microsoft. It is a cloud based ETL of Microsoft in Azure. Azure Databricks. So just in a single line, I'm just discussing it. It's a cloud ETL or cloud based ETL. Azure Databricks, ADB. Azure Databricks, ADB. It is a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. There's a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. Apache Spark is a very high speed dot processing execution model to process huge data at big time. And for example, for streaming, Azure streaming, capturing, capturing and processing high volumes, high volumes of high volumes of streaming the data from multiple sources simultaneously. Capturing and processing high volumes of streaming the data from multiple sources simultaneously. Azure Cosmos DB. Azure cloud-based. Here simple like MongoDB. Azure cloud-based NoSQL database, right? Just like MongoDB, we got Cosmos DB. NoSQL means not only SQL, schemaless behavior, random access means record to record different number of fields can be maintained. But in case of SQL, first record to last record, same number of fields to be maintained. But in the case of NoSQL, my first record with 3 fields, second record with 5 fields, third record with 10 fields. So record to record different number of fields can be maintained. Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault, right? Yes. Secure key management. Secure key management to protect secure key management to protect the data in the cloud. Okay, so these are the main data engineering products or services. Later I discuss in brief about it. Just I have given the overview about it, right? Majorly like as part of this Azure data engineering, right? Yes. In Azure data engineer, first mainly like I'll be discussing about Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory ADF. It's a zero coding ETL means no coding, no prerequisites, nothing. Everything drag and drop we perform. Apart from this Azure Data ADF, we'll be discussing about Azure Data Bricks. Azure Databricks ADB along with PySpark. Azure Synapse Analytics. Along with this, I'm going to discuss like Azure Synapse Analytics. So as part of this course, Data Factory, Azure Databricks, PySpark, not like other training sets. I'll be briefing you about the entire PySpark will be discussed here and Azure Synapse Analytics. Majorly, this will be our discussion. 3 months is the course duration. Along with that, you will also get knowledge on this. You also get knowledge on this, right? Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake Storage, ADLS, you will be getting knowledge on this. Yes, you'll be getting knowledge on this. Azure Streaming, you'll be getting knowledge about all these things, right? Yes, you can once you check the course content, right? In brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about this. Check with this Azure Data Factory. First, you'll overview about all the resources, Azure Data Factory, building blocks of this ADF, pipelines, activity, link service, data sets, data flows, triggers, pipelines. So linker service, data sets, activities, different types of transformations, triggers, integration runtime. So here data flows, transformations, different various transformations, and around 50 exercises I'll be discussing, right? And secondly, Azure Databricks, it's a code based. You need to have some. So I'll be giving the prerequisites like big data, Hadoop, and Spark. The prerequisites I'll be providing it, and so like what is cluster management, displaying clusters, starting cluster, terminating cluster, deleting a cluster, cluster logs, types of cluster, Databricks pools with pools without pools, Databricks utilities, credential utility, data utility, notebook utility, all this, Databricks integration with different storages, multi-file formats, cache processing, streaming API, like Databricks Lakehouse workflows in data. And Synapse, Azure Synapse, you can just check with this, right? In brief, in depth, I'll be discussing with also like PySpark in brief. Check it, right? Yes. And apart from that, you can see the offerings from my side. You'll be getting each and every session video the day itself, and you'll be getting the videos to your Google Drive. So tomorrow also people can attend the session same time using the same link to see, but day after tomorrow the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled, right? For getting the link, the videos, the notes, adding to that WhatsApp group, right? So each and every session video you'll be getting soft copy of these notes. Next, assignments and tasks to work with. And a WhatsApp group for technical discussions. Or if you get any errors, you can take snaps and post in the group. Interview questions. Live interactive hands-on sessions. Even most of the time, you will be doing the tasks along with me parallelly during the sessions. Apart from this, from Durgasoft side, right, they are going to provide free access to the videos for Python videos. They'll give access to the Python videos of 100 plus videos. They also provide access to this MySQL 35 plus and Linux. Around 120 videos on this. So you'll be getting a 7,000 rupees video access freely provided by Durgasoft once you get enrolled for this Python, MySQL, and this Linux shell scripting videos, right? Around 120, sorry. So this is offerings from my side, right? Yes. So let me make it clear about the timings of this batch. First 1 week, it will be running at 11 a.m. But later after 1 week, it will be at 10 a.m., 10 to 11. 10 to 11 it will be, right? Make it clear about the timings before you go with the payment process. Any queries you got, anyone, as part of today's? Tomorrow also, if people can attend same time at 11 o'clock using the same link to see more discussion, that yes. Any queries you got, anyone? Okay. So tomorrow, okay, I'll sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow. More discussions on this same time at 10 o'clock. Fine. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. So one query was asked. Prerequisites before starting the course, right? Yes, prerequisites means basic Python, basic SQL, right? This is enough. And the other prerequisites I will be discussing as part like basic Hadoop, basic, all these things I will be discussing. Yes. The course fee is 15,000 for all this entire package. It's 3 months, right? Yes. Fine. Thank you all. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow.